What's up, guys? Daniel here. If you don't know who I am, I run a company that helps hospo business owners scale up the private function side of their hospo business. And we can't work with everybody, nor does everybody want to work with us. So I'm just making these videos to share some insights, some tips and tricks that I've learned along the way, which you might find helpful. Okay. So today I wanted to talk about what is the best sales process that you can take an inquiry or a lead, whatever word you want to use, through to close them at the highest percentage possible for a private function booking. Okay, so what's the best sales process? And I guess even before that, why do you need a sales process? Well, I would say you need a sales process because if you're the business owner and you're managing the sales, you probably don't want to manage the sales forever. You want to be able to offload that work to one or two people within your team, whether it's a duty manager, whether it's a venue manager, or maybe you have a dedicated function specialist within your business. And the only way you can offload that work effectively is by having a system where you can take yourself out as the human input and put somebody else in as the human input. Okay, so that's why it has to be a system. But what is the best sales process? Okay, like there has to be some things that are better to do than other things, but there is no golden bullet here. So these are just my opinions from what I've seen a lot of different venues have success with. Okay, so I'm going to be able to jump into my screen over here where I have a Jamboard, and I'm going to be able to explain a little bit about what I'm looking for here. So firstly, inquiries for private functions can come into the business from a lot of different ways. Maybe they come in from a website lead. Somebody fills out a form on your website. They give you their name, email address, phone number, and they'll probably fill out some information about the type of event that they're wanting to have. That's one type of inquiry. Another type of inquiry that often comes is maybe a conversation is started on Instagram DMs, or a conversation is started on your website widget. Maybe you have a little chat box on your website, or maybe it's a Facebook Messenger conversation, or maybe it's an email conversation. Maybe it's a text conversation. I don't exactly know what channels you guys use, but whatever channel it is, an inquiry or a sales conversation would start. I would say in this basic first stage of a sales conversation, this is where you want to talk to the prospect. Let's say it's through Facebook Messenger. Ask them a couple basic questions. What type of event are you planning? How many people are you intending to have? If they reply to that question, you know they're starting to go down and raise their hand a little bit more as a potential opportunity to do business with you. Okay. Once you've had one or two small exchanges back and forth, I'd be like, cool. By the sounds of it, the birthday party you're planning, Jennifer, sounds exciting. I think we can help. Are you open to a 10-minute conversation to talk a little bit more about this? And then if they say yes, exchange phone numbers, and you can arrange a time for a call, or you could give them a call right away, depending on that inquiry or that lead. Okay, so I'm going to put this on the computer. Let's say, firstly, an inquiry comes into the business. Then you want to push that inquiry onto a phone call. Okay, so I don't exactly know how to do the phone logo, but it's something like this. So an inquiry comes in. They could come through FB Messenger, they could come through Instagram, they could come through website. Whatever that inquiry is, have some very small basic back and forth on the same channel that the inquiry comes in. For instance, website, Facebook Messenger, text, or what have you. Then ask for a 10-minute phone call and exchange phone numbers, or get their phone number and arrange a time for the call. Say, hey, I can give you a call now. Are you available for 10 minutes to have a chat? Then they can give you the number. Call them up right away. And this is what we're going to call the next stage, which is discovery call. Okay, this discovery call is a conversation with the mission of the conversation being to learn a little bit about what the person's looking for and see if what they're looking for is something your venue or your business can deliver on. Okay, this conversation shouldn't take any more than 15 minutes, and it probably shouldn't take any less than 5 minutes. Okay, usually they're going to go somewhat like asking them a few questions about the type of event, the type of food, the type of drinks, what dates they're looking at. Are they the main person planning their event? When do they want to get their date locked in by? And then they're probably the main pre-qualification questions that you want to ask. Once you've identified if this person is a good potential piece of business, next step is to most likely invite them in to come in and have a look at the space, okay? I'll be on the phone, say, cool, sounds like we can help you, Jennifer. What most people want to do is come in and check the space out, because then you can see the space, feel the vibe, see if it's something that resonates with you in the event that you're planning. Are you available to come in maybe today or tomorrow to check the space out? They'll say, I'm actually busy today and tomorrow. I'm like, okay, no worries. Well, we can actually do weekends as well. Our function manager is here. They'll be here from Saturday and Sunday up until 6 p.m. Do you have any time on the weekend? Yep, I can do Sunday 4 p.m. No worries, Jennifer. I'll book you in for her with a 20-minute viewing with our function expert. Okay, so you're going to go from a 10-minute call, which is the discovery call, to an in-person viewing. Okay, it's a P. In-person viewing. The goal of the in-person viewing is to show the prospect around the space, and if they like what they see and you're getting positive vibes or positive responses from the prospect, go for the close. To be like, cool, Jennifer, we're super busy in June when you're planning your event. By the sounds of it, I think we can smash it for you and you're going to have an awesome event. Can we get that date reserved for you? Go for a soft close. If you can get that date reserved and they say yes, be like, cool, Jennifer, all we're going to need is a $300 deposit. We can pay by Amex, FPOS, or cash, and what that's going to do is lock that date in for you. If Jennifer can't make a decision while she's in the venue, then what you can do is tentatively close her. Be like, cool, Jennifer, happy to give you 72 hours to sort stuff out your side, and between now and 72 hours from now, I'll tentatively reserve that date for you. All you're going to have to do to lock it in is pay a deposit. So I'll give you a call maybe 2 days from now, Jennifer, and then we can reconnect and see how you are. Let's book in a call for 2 days from now, okay? So the in-person viewing is giving you an opportunity to close. If you can't close the deal, then you should arrange a time for a follow-up, usually within 48 hours, okay? What you may have noticed is on the 10-minute discovery call, I was wanting Jennifer to come in today or tomorrow, and then she said, no, I couldn't come in. I'll come in on Sunday, okay? I want her to come in as short a time as possible because life happens, right? Maybe she stubs her toe, maybe her dog dies, maybe her cat goes missing, maybe she gets a new job and her hours change, and for whatever reason, something in life happened, which means she can't commit to the time in which she committed to. And the longer between the phone call and the commitment that I'm asking for her is, the more opportunity we open ourselves up to life happening. Hence, we want each step in our sales process to be very close together. The closer together between phone call to in-person viewing to tentative close to taking deposit, the shorter we can do everything in our sales process, the more likely overall you're going to be to close at a higher percentage and ultimately have a more flourishing private function side to your venue. Okay, so these are some tricks or some tips and tricks and strategies that I think may be helpful for you. It's a simplified sales process. Step one, an inquiry comes into the business. Have some basic dialogue on the same channel that the inquiry comes in on, whether, let's say, Facebook Messenger. Ask them some simple questions. What type of event? How many people? Then ask them for a 10-minute phone call. Pitch the phone call. On the phone call, you would have a 5 to 15-minute conversation to figure out if the event they're planning is a good fit for your space. If it is, you want them to come into the venue and check the space out. Once they're in the venue, they can feel the vibe, see if it's a good option, and that's how you can close the deal, okay? This becomes a rinse and repeat process, especially if you can run advertising to generate more conversation starts, because then you can push them through a structured sales process. Best thing is, once you have a sales process that's dialed in, the process is the intellectual property, so you can sit back and relax, okay? And you can take confidence that the process does what you want it to do, and then you can swap yourself out as a human resource for another one of your team members. Okay, so I hope this makes sense to someone. You might not be at the stage where you're ready to dive into something like this. Maybe you are. Maybe you already have a similar process that has different elements here, but usually inquiry, phone call, in-person viewing is going to be best. So I hope that made sense, guys. Any questions, leave them in the comments below. We can do our best to answer those for you. Yeah, hope that made sense. Cheers.